How do you overcome fear and self-doubt? It's something that I've had to deal with a lot. Let's try this. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here with me. I recently had someone ask me, how do you overcome fear and self-doubt? It's something that I've had to deal with a lot in my life, personally and professionally. Some of you know I've been playing basketball professionally in the Philippines for 15 years. And as an athlete, if you're an athlete, you can relate. As an athlete, that's something that you're constantly faced with before every game or competition or match. So I've had to find ways to get past it and still be able to perform at a high level. So, when I study the greats, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Ray Allen, they all talk about different ways to deal with self-doubt, say with performance. And the one thing that I've found, the common denominator with dealing with it is preparation. If you want to be great, you got to study the greats, right? It's one of the best ways to combat nervousness or doubts or even fears when it comes to stepping out on the court. And I think that goes with anything in life. The more you're prepared, the more confident you are with those thoughts and those things that go on in your mind prior to stepping out there or prior to a big meeting or a presentation or speaking in front of people. I recently asked my coach, Chot Reyes, he's the guy who brought me into the Philippines and started this whole journey for me. He's also one of the top speakers in Asia for sports and business leadership. So I asked him, do you still get nervous before talks or presentations? And he said, yeah, of course, that's a normal thing. He also said that if he's not nervous or he doesn't have those, butterflies or jitters or whatever that feeling is prior to a talk, when he doesn't have those feelings, that's when he's worried. And I found that to be true for myself. Before games, I've looked at nervousness and those butterflies as, oh man, I'm afraid or I'm nervous. It's not a good thing. But for the past several years, I've switched my thinking into seeing those feelings as just my mind and my body sinking and preparing for what's to come, and more of excitement rather than fear or nervousness or whatever negative feelings come along with that. Because a lot of times with fear, I probably heard people say fear is false evidence appearing real. A lot of times in fears in situations where you may have practiced with, or in situations where it's common in your arena or in your field, you get those fears, and a lot of times it's just in your head. You're worrying about whether you're going to mess up your words, or you're worried about if you're going to miss a free throw or miss a layup and embarrass yourself in front of your family and friends or colleagues or bosses, supervisors, coaches, whatever. So if we can get to a point where we switch the thinking from the worry and more seeing it as excitement, then you can step into the situation with more confidence. And that's proven true time and time again, on and off the court. Even in this situation and doing these videos and these vlogs, before every recording, I'm sitting there wondering, why the hell am I even doing this? Someone might not listen. They might think I sound stupid. They might not like the way that I speak. I might forget the words that I want to say or forget the points that I want to share. But the more that I've practiced it, the more that I prepare for situations like this, the more I feel confident, which is also a key. I think the main thing to understand is no matter what situation, what level the person is in, whether it's Olympic athlete to the greatest speakers in the world, we all deal with these feelings. We all deal with those butterflies or those jitters or those thoughts, be it nervousness, whatever you want to call it. Everybody deals with those feelings. Everybody deals with a level of self-doubt. And I think it's important to understand that, because a lot of times when we start to doubt ourselves, when we start to have these fears, we think that we're the only ones that have them, that no one else is thinking that. I used to think that in the locker room before games. I'm probably the only one nervous. I'm probably the only one that is afraid of messing up on the court or messing up a play or missing the big shot. And it's false. Everyone deals with it. And if they say they don't, it's probably not true. And if it's true, great for them. But for you and I, for normal humans, it's just something that comes with life. And I think if we can get to a point where we can switch our perspective on it and see it for what it actually is, and trust our preparation and trust the experience that we have with being there and being in situations similar to that, then the better off we are. I mean, okay, obviously I'm no psychologist, I'm no therapist, but like I said, I've played professional ball for the last 15 years and I've learned a lot about myself, and I've learned a lot about the psychological fortitude that's needed to be able to overcome these types of thoughts and this thinking. Of course, there's a healthy fear that's necessary for survival to keep us out of situations that can potentially harm us or kill us, right? Like you walk into a forest, wildlife, not knowledgeable of the surroundings, not knowledgeable of how to deal with certain situations. There should be a healthy fear that a bear is going to come out and, So there's that. There's a healthy fear. The unhealthy side of fear are these thoughts that come irrational or illogical. We're going to mess up in life. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to miss shots. We're going to miss free throws. We're going to stumble words when we speak. We're going to mess up. And that's normal. But if we allow fear and self-doubt to keep us from going into those arenas and doing the things that we want to do, then we've already lost before we even played. We've already failed the presentation before we even step out there because we didn't give ourselves a chance. If I allow my own fears and self-doubts to overtake me, which it has in previous years, I wouldn't have this channel. I wouldn't have never turned the camera on. I would have never spoken a word, wouldn't have written a book. I wouldn't try to share my life and try to share what I have learned, my lessons to you, and not give myself a chance to try to be successful at it. The main point, one, it's important to understand that it's common to have self-doubt. It's common to have a certain level of fear. It's common. But two, it's important to start to switch your perspective on it. It's been powerful for me, my perspective on how I see these feelings, the nervousness and whatever fears or self-doubt I have going into a situation. Known or unknown, not as unknown as walking into a forest. I ain't like that. But seeing it more as, identifying those feelings more as excitement rather than fear or nervousness has helped me to put things into perspective so that there is more positive coming from those feelings and those thoughts rather than fear and nervousness, and then it weighs heavy on you and you want to try to combat it. Whereas you see it as excitement, you can lean into it. You can see it as like how I see it, my mind and my body syncing up and just getting ready. It's a natural feeling. The body and the mind syncs up in order to go out and do what I need to do on the court or whatever situation I'm in. Lastly, I think the biggest thing is just building up your confidence. And there's tons of ways to do that. I've done and do hypnosis and meditation. You can find stuff like that all over the internet. But the biggest thing, just like all the greats that I've studied, including, Coach Schott and all of my favorite speakers, the confidence comes in the preparation. So if you're a player, an athlete, or you're giving a huge presentation, instead of worrying about what could happen, bury yourself into the preparation of it. Bury yourself in practice. Bury yourself in getting shots up, putting yourself in simulation, simulating situations that you're going to be in. Bury yourself in your notes and your info and your slides, whatever it is that you're getting ready to do, bury yourself in it so that when it comes time, you got your mind right. You feel those feelings. You're going to feel those feelings. But now you're seeing it as, okay, I'm excited. I'm excited to go out in front of these people and present. I'm excited to go out in front of this crowd and with my team to perform. And you can trust yourself. You can trust that you've done the work. You've done everything you can to do what you need to do in your arena. I hope that helps. Like I said, it's something that I deal with all the time with this channel, with basketball, with whatever I'm doing, when I do talks, whatever it is I'm doing, I deal with those thoughts. But now I don't look at it as fear. or nervousness. I look at it as natural feelings as my mind and body sync up, and I'm prepared for it. I feel really good about it, again, when I'm prepared for it, when I know I've prepared. That's all I had today. I just wanted to share that with you while I have my coffee with my sons. Again, if you haven't checked out the other videos, check them out, like, subscribe. But I just want to say I appreciate you taking time. If you've made it this far, thank you for taking time to spend with me. Kind of a gloomy day here in Manila. It's been raining a lot, but life is still beautiful regardless. Do the best you can to enjoy it. And I'll see you at the next one. Have an amazing day.